What's up, my LS crazed amigos? It's your boy Terry, right here, speaking from the garage shop, right here. Once again, here to offer you some more big bang for the buck product and info. Yeah, that's right. The LSA project moving along pretty smooth. All right. So what we're gonna talk about today is we gotta feed this LSA because now it's supercharged. So we gotta kind of do a little bit more as far as like for the fuel delivery. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over to where I'm keeping my parts, and we're gonna have a little chat. Come on, let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Now, whenever you go from a naturally aspirated engine, meaning no supercharger, no power adder, no turbocharger, to a supercharger or a turbocharger, you're gonna have to rethink your fuel delivery, because what's happening is when these engines go into boost, it requires more fuel. If you don't have more fuel, you can fry something, and that would not make for a good day. So, being that I've just added this LSA supercharger on my car, I gotta kind of up my fuel delivery system here. So if you remember, a while back, I put out a video as far as running a fuel delivery system on your LS engine, which is cool. So being that this is like an engine that's being put together, I'm not sure what kind of horsepower numbers this car is gonna be pushing. So you know me, I'm the type of guy, better safe than sorry. I'd much rather have a pump that's able to handle more than what I got than needing more and not having it. All right, so being that I'm removing that regulator filter, I'm gonna need a filter, Corvette style regulator filter. I'm gonna need a new filter. So what I did was I went to Magnaflow and I got this filter, this inline filter. Now this has got an AN8, so I got reducers to AN6 because if you remember, I'm running AN6 lines to what's it called? So I got two of the reducers, which will convert to an AN6. I could just plug it right in there, get like a clamp it to where it's at, boom. Done deal with that. So, and this is kind of cool because it's got a filter element inside which you can clean your filter. You know, you don't have to go and spend whatever, I forgot how much those $20-$30 on filters, regulators, when you don't need it. And then for the regulator, what I did was, again with Magnaflow, this is AN6, I'm going to have to get AN8s, I'm going to get two reducers, I got two reducers, and to make it an AN6, I got to find a place to mount this thing. And then this right here, it's an in, it's an out, and this goes to the rail. So this is going to come from the tank to the rails and go to the rail. This is going to be a return. This is already an AN6, so I don't have to, get a reducer or anything like that. I just plug in. So I'm going to have to run a line back to the tank, which I got the AN6 Pro Flow here because that's what I'm running here on the feed. So it's going to be the return, and of course a host of fittings and connectors and stuff like that to make my hose. Now let's go back to this regulator. Now what it is this is kind of cool because this has a provisioning for a gauge. If you're not going to use a gauge, you can plug this up. You can get like a plug and you plug it up. If you are going to use a gauge, I suggest that you use the gauge that has the little oil inside it because that will stop the pin from going up real quick. It like slows it down. So depending on where I route this, if it's facing the firewall, which it looks like that's what's going to happen, no need for a gauge because I have a gauge inside the car for it. It's electrical, but mechanical is kind of cool. And this comes with a boost reference. Now, what's a boost reference? A boost reference is it has a little diaphragm in there, which controls the boost of the car. So when you're not boost the car, but how much fuel is let in, out the regulator. So basically, what's happening is when the car's under boost, you're going to need a little bit more fuel. So this has a boost reference, so what you're going to do is you're going to tie this into the opening on your LSA in the upper passenger side corner, and that's where it's going to read the boost, and it's going to say, hey, you need more fuel. You're hitting this pedal a little heavy. Here's some more fuel. Take some. Here, take it. So that's what the boost reference is. So whenever you have a power adder on your car, as far as like a turbocharger or a supercharger, you don't need a boost reference to feed it. And this is how you adjust the pressure. You unloosen this and you can just tighten this down to release it or add more, loosen it, whatever you need to do. And this is going to be kind of a cool setup. And part of the fun is finding a place where to put this thing. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, but it's got to go in. And that's how I'm going to be running the fuel. Like I said, I'm making it all AN6 because AN6 is coming out from the tank. So I'm going to keep it AN6. Some people say you might have to run AN8, but I think AN6 is going to be fine. A lot of people tell me AN6 is just fine. And that's pretty much it as far as all the parts, and I'm going to have to install this stuff. So I'm installing the Magnaflow MP7010, my fuel filter. It's in line, and it even has an arrow which way the fuel should be going. And this is, you know, I got the AN6 because my lines are AN6. I got the AN6 ends. So I'm going to replace the regular Corvette style fuel filter / regulator in this car, and we're going to put this in right now. This is my filter / regulator, you know, from off a Corvette, and it's been working great for now. But when you put an LSA on there, you need to boost reference. So and you're going to have to get another type of regulator, and that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace this one. As you can see, like, you should always, I like to mark them. Like this, I know is the feed, and this is the return. So come time to, you know, run these lines, I know that this one is my return, and that's my feed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a filter, an inline filter, right there, and then I'm going to run a hose coming all the way back from the regulator to the return. Check it out. Got the Magnaflow inline fuel filter installed right here. Fabbed up a little holder for it, and this line is the return line, because like I said, you're gonna have to have a return line go all the way from the front of the engine, from the regulator I should say. And you know, I had to use a couple of fittings to make it look, to connect it actually, and this is how I did it. Before I even start the car, what I do is I unhook the line that goes to the rail, and I run into a bottle that can catch the gas and just turn the car on, because what's going to happen is it's going to kick on the fuel pump for a few seconds, and it's going to spit gas out. And once that's doing, that's cleaning out the lines. You should do this anytime you're doing lines, or either have new pieces like the regulator, because you know you want to get all the contaminants out of it before you put it into your new fuel injectors, or in any fuel injector, so it won't give you any type of situations later on down the road. Check it out. Okay, let's check it out. Here you go. See, I do this a couple times until all that is gone. You see all that stuff that's in the tank? Well, it's not even the tank, it's in the lines. Because you got new rubber lines, you got hard lines, and so you're going to have some stuff in there. Now, will the injector shoot it out? It may. It may not be enough to stop up the injector, but why take a chance? So I'll do this about 3 or 4 more times until it's clean, and then I know I got a clean system. Check it out. See, this is the 4th time. And look at it. This is what you want. I'll probably do it 1 or 2 more times. Maybe do it tomorrow morning, you know, as far as everything settling in, the gas through the lines and everything now. So, but this is what you want to see. Nothing. Nothing. All right, now what I want to do is I want to touch around the regulator just to make sure I'm not feeling any gas, because this is the fuel line where the gas is coming into, and this is where it's coming out of. So I want to make sure, because I'm going to have a little gauge right here, a little pressure gauge coming in, so I can tell what kind of PSI I'm working with under the hood, as well as I have one inside the car. So I don't feel any gas, so I think everything will be pretty. I'll keep my fingers crossed, because you know, like I said, now I'm going to start the car, not start the car, but I'll put fuel through here with pressure, the lines. So hook the fuel line back in. There you go. For it to snap. There it is. Alright. Pull on it. Make sure it don't come out. Push it back on. Let's test for leaks. Alright, so I'm close to starting this car up. But before, as we did, let's count down what I did. Okay, I took the fuel line off of the rail, and I cleaned the system. I pretty much started the car, not start the car, but put the crank in position, and fuel runs through. And because I changed the regulator, I got a regulator on here now, got a couple of new lines, and I got a new fuel filter and new fuel pump. So you just want to make sure you get all the stuff that could possibly be in those items before they hit the rails and clog your fuel injectors. You don't want that. All right, so we got that part done. So what I'm going to do now is I hook the fuel line back up to the rail, and I'm going to put pressure on the system. Again, not starting the car, but to put in the key on crank, so I can put pressure in the lines and I'm going to go around wherever I did modifications to these lines. I'm going to check and see if there's any type of fuel leak. If there's not, then I'm going to start the car up, and then I'm going to set that regulator, and we'll be good to go. Off to the tuner. So far, no leaks. All right. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cap off the vacuum off of the LSA that goes to the boost reference, because you don't want to get false readings when you're setting the regulator. I'm going to cap that off, start the car up, set my PSI to 58 to maybe 60, anywhere between 58 and 60, and we should be ready for the tuner. What's up? Boost reference, cap it off. Mechanical gauge, going to the fuel regulator so I can get an accurate read on how much PSI is going through the fuel line. With the PSI set for the fuel lines, remove the cap, and just like that. Hook back up the boost reference, or should I say the vacuum lines for the boost reference, like this. I have it teeing off a couple of times. I have it teeing off. This is for the actuator. This is for the boost reference right here. And this line right here is going to go to a supercharger boost gauge that I'm mounting in my car. And so that's how I'm going to run the fuel system up in this car. I got to find out where I'm going to put everything, but I'll make it happen, best I can. All right. I want to say a big thank you to everyone out there, everyone, because I'm feeling the love, and it's really beautiful. All the questions and the comments and the posts, wonderful. Solid. I love it. I love it. I love it. And if you need to reach me, you know how to reach me. So, but looking at the clock on the wall, or should I say ceiling, it's time for me to head on off and finish delivering fuel to these rails. And I will catch you guys real soon. So always be easy. I'll see you. Take care.